Now then, this is very difficult for me. And I've spent 2.5 weeks having panic attacks and struggling with mental health issues as a result of what's gone on in that forum in discourse. And I need to point out, I don't know how to deal with all of this because it doesn't make any sense. And I'll be called a narcissist for this because it's happened before. My strength is that I tell truth in places where people don't like to hear the truth now. Why they don't want to hear the truth, I don't know. It's not my business. It's their business. And I'm a publican who's seen it all from a tied publican's point of view. And I co-founded the Fair Pint campaign because of it. I had a multiple award-winning pub. I turned a rubbish, empty, shut, rundown pub into a multiple award-winning pub. And my life and the pub, my life was destroyed and the pub closed because of rent reviews and because of abuse of the beer tie. And what went along with that also, I mean, this is history, you know. I was evicted in 2011. I was subsequently bankrupt and I was homeless for 3 years. I don't know if anybody watching this can actually imagine what that's like, but it's pretty difficult to deal with. And across the years, I've met literally dozens of other publicans, licensees. Many of them were very busy pubs. Many of them were award-winning pubs who've experienced something similar to what happened to me, but at the hands of other pub companies like Punch, Enterprise, Admiral. All of them, right? They're all up to the same behaviour in the tied sector, and persistently in the pubs code came into place in 2016. Now, I don't claim any ownership over bringing that into place myself. I just networked with people in Southeast London who are tied licensees, and they all agreed with me that we were being ripped off, and that became a pub campaigning little force of well-informed. Incidentally, these were all very busy pubs, right? These are all publicans who'd taken on failed pubs and turned them into really busy pubs. So don't misunderstand this narrative that these were publicans who were naive, inexperienced, and all the rest of it. These were guys and women who knew what they were doing, and they all got screwed over by the pub companies. Some of them are still trading now, but I can tell you, it's been a long, hard slog. And I do have credentials that no one else in discourse has, that I'm aware of anyway, and that is, I've been through it all, and I've devoted, because I'm so concerned about the cultural damage, the scarring that the Great British Pubco Scam, as I called it in something like 2010, where I've had several executives at board level of pub companies say to me, off record, in Chatham House Rules meetings, it would be useful if you didn't use that hashtag. What hashtag? The Great British Pubco Scam one. Why is that? And they've all said, well, because it's not helpful. Now, they say that because they all heard that in a meeting somewhere, right? And on one side of the pub sector, there are people broadly like me who really care about pubs and to a lesser or greater extent have got loads of experience of it. And many of these people are dedicated CAMRA members and they're amazing people. And then on the other side, there are people who aren't that bothered, and they're the ones that are the problem. And CAMRA's had itself in a problem. It's not complicated, this. I don't need to speculate about anything. You just need to look at the number of pubs closing all the time, and it's never wavered. And that's because there's a fundamental problem, not just with CAMRA, but with everywhere in our conversation about pubs. And I'm going to put some stuff into this forum. Right? All the social media stuff that's been screen grabbed and put in here by a very few small number of people who incidentally constitute a structural problem to discourse itself, because when I say things like everywhere I go around the country and people say I never get involved with discourse, I'm not making that up. This is what people tell me, right? And then I mention this in discourse and people come back straight away, say you're making it up, or they imply that I'm just exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. I'm just telling verbatim what people say. I don't use words like snake pits or viper's nest. I don't use those kind of terms. And this is what I'm just reporting what people say. And out there, since I've got my nomination around, my candidacy around, I've been attacked by small brewers saying that's ironic from an old guy, irrelevant. I'm an old guy, irrelevant, CAMRA aspirant asking the UK Craft Beer Forum to share it around and vote for me. They hate CAMRA, you know? CAMRA's an amazing organisation, and it's punched way below its weight for years. Now, why that is, there's no point speculating at all, but it needs to be talked about, it needs to be acknowledged, because it's true. And one of the other candidates here, I've not read all of the candidate statements, because actually, to be honest with you, I found it very difficult to engage at all at any level, because I get panic attacks looking at the forum. But one of the other candidates has said something to the effect of, CAMRA from this point onward is either going to fade into obscurity or it needs to change, and I want to help make that change. That's all I want to do. I want to help, and I've got loads of experience. I've done the work. I've got the effort. I put the time in. I've sacrificed a career in order to try to overturn this problem of the pubs crisis, and it is private equity ripping everybody off in Britain. It's as simple as that, and you can deny it as much as you want, but if you deny it, you've got to ask yourself why. And the sum of all of this is what, in my general experience, not in my specific experience, what I've got is I've been labelled as a conspiracy theorist and all manner of other stuff, a narcissist and somebody with a messiah complex. This is ridiculous. I'm not. I'm a nice guy, and I care, and I do the work, and I put the time in, and I love people, and I'm empathetic, and I'm really concerned about our culture. And that's about it, really. I'm going to put some posts in here. I don't know whether I have the nerve to put this video in there. I'm not very good at videos, because I find it terrifying standing in front of a camera and talking. But I might do it. And it's taken me a long time to build up the courage. And I've taken a beta blocker before doing it. And this is kind of off the cuff.